Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to day 27 of albums that are 50 years old in 2023. We are looking back on the great year in music, 1973. We have 31 days in January. We have picked out our 31 favorite albums released in that year. 31 out of many. Really hard to whittle it down. As you can imagine, my honorable mention show is going to be pretty lengthy because there were a lot of great albums that I love a lot that didn't quite make the cut of 31. So if you haven't heard your favorite, doesn't mean I don't love it too. But we all have different favorites, right? I picked out my 31. Very hard, though. Like I said, there are some really great albums that I love so much that just not quite made it, right? But that's okay. That's okay, because we love them anyway, right? But this particular one is the fifth release from this British band, released March 23rd, 1973. Recorded at Command Studios in London for Island and Atlantic Records, produced by the band. I am talking about Lark's Tongues in Aspic by King Crimson. Yeah, one of my favorite albums from this band. Sometimes it's my favorite, sometimes it's my second favorite. I usually kind of go back and forth between three of them. Red, this, and In the Court of the Crimson King. Just a landmark album for this band. One of the great prog rock bands and releases ever, in my opinion. Robert Fripp, all sorts of guitars and mellotron, other assorted keyboards, John Wetton bass vocals, Bill Bruford drums and percussion, David Cross on violin and viola, mellotron, Hohner pianette, flute, Jamie Muir on percussion, drums, and all sorts of bells and whistles and odd things, right? You got Richard Palmer James writing the lyrics for the album. It's just jam-packed with exciting stuff. Again, the King Crimson, not really an everyday listen for some people. If you like this sort of thing, you love this band, you love this album, but I've heard plenty of people tell me in my life, it's like, I just kind of don't get that King Crimson stuff. Some of it's noisy, too complicated, too mellow, too creepy, too this, too angular, too dissonant, this, that, and the other thing, and I get it. To me, it's totally your candy. I have grown to love King Crimson over the years. I always liked them. But I think over the last 25 years or so, I've really, really appreciated all their music all the more. Their mix of vocal pieces and instrumental stuff. Some of it's heavy, some of it's mellow, some of it's spacey, some of it's jazzy, some of it's noise rock. Whatever you want to call it, it's King Crimson. Lark's Tongues in Aspic Part 1. The bookends of the album are fantastic. You have Lark's Part 1 and Lark's Part 2, which finishes off the album. Both so different, both instrumental, both ominous and kind of heavy and complicated and riffy, and so much about what I love of this era in the band is right there in both of those. Amazing. Then you got the Book of Saturday, gorgeous, haunting, Exiles, spectacular. You got the heavy rocking Easy Money. And then, of course, another great instrumental, which just builds and builds and builds, is the Talking Drum. The players on this just absolutely. I love Wetton's big booming bass. Fripp. What more needs to be said about him? Bruford's drumming. Jamie Muir adds some really cool touches and elements to this album. Some people really miss Jamie on the subsequent few albums. Starless and Bible Black. And, of course, Red, right? Would it have been interesting to have him on those as well? Yeah, for sure, right? David Cross and his violin really works well against the guitars and the mellotron. Can you tell I just absolutely love this album? It's classic top to bottom. And I always kind of really like the, odd album cover, right? Which kind of gives you that sense of lightness and darkness all at the same time. It's just kind of there, right? Which is kind of like the album. The album, you have to kind of peel away. It's almost like you're peeling away the layers of the sun here. It's kind of like there's a lot of layers to kind of be peeled away on this album. Yeah, just amazing. And of course, this is you have the new mix, right? This was anyway. I could talk about King Crimson in this album all day long, so that's not really the point of these episodes. But as far as sales wise, this only made it to number 61 in the U.S. Top 20 album in the U.K. 26 in Japan, Canada 56 in Finland, number 15, Italy, It made number 8, right? But this was not, King Crimson were not a band that was going to certify with gold and platinum albums. No singles and all that sort of stuff, but still a strong enough seller and a strong enough following that has led a lot of these King Crimson albums to be looked at as, genre classics. Maybe not to mainstream listeners. Most mainstream people probably don't even know who King Crimson are or was, but that's okay. We all do, right? So that's what I have to say about Larks, Tongues, and Aspic. So let us know what you think of this great album in the comments below, as well as your pick today for day 27. Just a few days left. We'll come back at you tomorrow for day number 28, my pick number 28. I'll have a couple left. And then, of course, we move into 40 years celebrations for 1983. So we're going to do it all over again. And then we move to 1993 in March. So the next couple of months are all about looking back on some of our favorites from some landmark years that are celebrating 50 years. And then when we move into April, we'll be back to like a normal kind of wacky themes each and every month, right? So have lots of stuff in the plans for this year, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts, and please do hit the like button before you leave, and visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together all the damn time. If you'd care to make a channel donation, we have the links below to our Ko-Fi page as well as our merch page, where you can get all sorts of great Sea of Tranquility gear. We've got all sorts of different logos and styles, shirts, hats, hoodies, all sorts of things. So go check that out as well. And we'll see you tomorrow for another album that is 50 years old in 2023. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.